Class is in session. Welcome to the college basketball hitting the book show for Monday, February 9th. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack with you, ready to break down the Monday college basketball slate. It'll be a short show today. We'll give you about 15 minutes or so. It's a short slate anyway. We'll obviously talk about the three power conference games tonight. We've got two on ESPN and by far the game of the night, Arizona and Kansas, a top 10 matchup. That should be great. Tonight on ESPN. Looking forward to that, but we'll get into some of the smaller mid-major conferences as well on this Monday slate. We'll get into that. Hope everyone survived the Super Bowl. Just briefly on the Super Bowl, CMAC, profitable for me. We'll take it. Not a huge profit, but we had Seattle. They cashed. We had a piece of the team total over, which thankfully, because of that sack fumble on Drake May, and were scooped and scored and returned to the end zone by Uchenna Nwosu for Seattle in that fourth quarter. We were able to cash the team total over. So we had the Seahawks in those various forms, money line and team total. And we cashed more of the props than we lost. So we'll take it. The props that really helped is we went in with everything Barner, receptions, receiving yards, touchdown. That hit. We had Mac Hollins for New England. Every one of his props hit, receptions, receiving yards, and the touchdown prop as well. We had Kenneth Walker over receiving yards, which was my single favorite prop on the board from day one. Not easy, but we got enough. It was 26 yards he got receiving. And I was worried with how well he was running the football, which is the one part of the handicap that I didn't get right. Even though I liked Seattle, I wasn't totally convinced Kenneth Walker would have a ton of success running the football, considering the fact that New England hadn't given up 40 yards rushing to any running back in the playoffs up until last night when Kenneth Walker obliterated that mark. And that was the big surprise, too, was that they ran the football, Kenneth Walker specifically, as well as he did. So, we'll take it. It was a profitable Super Bowl. Now, look, I'm happy about that, CMAC, but let's be honest. I'm happy I won some money, but that Super Bowl was horse shit. It was horrific. It was a terrible football game. From an entertainment standpoint, you couldn't get a much worse Super Bowl than that, but made some money. Got some profit out of it. We'll take it. But yeah, not a Super Bowl that people are going to remember for years to come as an all-time classic. That is for damn sure. But congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. They kind of looked like they had separated themselves as maybe the best team in the NFL, especially because of that defense. And boy, did that defense put on a show. And for the people that are throwing Drake May under the bus, saying, oh, he's scared of the spotlight, wasn't ready, deer in a headlights, the stage was too big for him. Yeah, you ask Patrick Mahomes, you ask Josh Allen, you ask any great elite quarterback in the NFL to make something happen with that brutal offensive line playing in front of him. The offensive line has to shoulder as much, if not more, of the blame than Drake May last night. They couldn't block and protect worth a shit against that Seattle defense. Honestly, you got to make sure you at least make it a 50-50 share of the blame. The quarterback and in fact, for me, I would put more of the blame on the offensive line, and Will Campbell, I mean, he actually before his injury, he was, for a rookie offensive lineman, he was playing pretty well, but that was rough last night. And he hasn't been great since coming back from that injury. But my goodness, when you read on Pro Football Focus that he gave up, I think the most quarterback pressures of any offensive lineman in NFL Super Bowl history, I think 14 pressures he gave up last night. On poor Drake May, who was just had nowhere to go, much of that night. Yeah, it was proof that just how bad the Patriot offensive line was throughout the course of that game. But again, credit to the Seattle Seahawks for getting the job done. All right, let's turn our attention now to college basketball. We'll get CMAC back with us in a moment. By the way, CMAC's got an announcement to make. I'll let him fill you in, but just if you get any DMs or messages from his Twitter account, don't reply to them. Don't click anything. He was hacked. He's been victimized by that. Please vote for me. Spam message that's been going around. So again, Connor Mack Picks on Twitter. If you get a DM from that account,
don't answer it.
Don't answer it, and don't dump. But definitely don't click anything that is sent your way via a link from that account, or else it's going to take over your account too, as well. But CMAC talked about that.
Don't answer it at all. And I was talking with Bavana. He had his done.
Yeah.
Usually I got shit all the time. I was telling him in the back because I wouldn't answer people that I didn't know. Like requests for the longest time. These guys were like, hey, man, I'm trying to get a hold of you. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, just one click got me fucked here by someone that I know, that we work with, a little bit, that on another, channel. So it was kind of, it's just shitty. So he was obviously, got hacked before that hacked me. So if you need to get a hold of me, just my email, connormacpicks@gmail.com. That's the easiest way until this maybe gets figured out, or I'm just going to have to start a new one from scratch. Like if it's not done within 24 hours, we'll see 48 hours. Like I'm just going to make a new one and we'll go from there. So don't answer the Twitter hackage from me. That's about it.
Song,
Ready for
Alan
culture?
Parsons Project. It was a good song from the 80s. Don't answer me. That's what you got to do with Connor Mack.
Yeah.
Right? Don't.
Well, it ain't me. Yeah. So they're trying to hack more people. Did they send you a thing today?
Oh yeah, I've gotten a couple of those. Please vote
from me. From me.
I got it too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they've already sent it.
Just ignore it. Yep.
Perfect. Yep.
Yep. I said that's not Connor Mack. I know it. He's
compromised
in that, so he'll probably have to start a new account like I did, about a year or so ago. It's just it's tough shit. It is. It's unfortunate. All right, let's get into Monday though. It's time to talk a little college basketball. We'll talk about the 3 power conference games, starting 4, if you will. We'll start with Xavier St. John's. St. John's 16.5-point favorite, 160 the total. Patino versus Patino. This should be fun. Rick and Richard going head-to-head one more time. Now, they did meet earlier this season, these two teams, Xavier and St. John's. And I'll tell you what, Xavier gave St. John's everything they could handle at Cintas Center, 88-83. St. John's wins by 5 in that matchup. You look at last year, these teams played. St. John's won both, but one was a 10-point win. One was an 8-point win. You go back further than that, 2023, St. John's won by 15. The year before that, they won by 15. The year before that, they won by 13, and they won by 9. The point I'm trying to make here is, yes, St. John's is 7-3 versus Xavier in the last 10 meetings. They haven't beaten Xavier one single time by this kind of point spread. 16.5 is the current number here, and you factor in as well, St. John's is coming off that monster showdown against UConn on Friday night on Fox. Got a big 81-72 win in that game. This feels like a lot of points to be laying with St. John's. I took Xavier here, plus 16.5. Now, I know Xavier is coming off their own ugly loss to UConn as well, their last opponent, 92-60. They lost by 18 at Seton Hall. So they have had some ugly, ugly losses on the road. And I guess the concern would be that, they just get ripped on the defensive end. Like, let's be honest, they're not a great defensive team. They're going to have to make shots. They're going to have to hit threes to stay in this game. And there's been some times this year where Xavier's been able to hit threes. They're 61st in the country, 3-point percentage at 36%. So this is just situational. This is the fact that St. John's has not beaten Xavier by 17 points or more at any point in the last 10 meetings. And this is just a lot of points to be taking with Xavier in a revenge spot after taking St. John's to the wire at Cintas. They only lost by 5. In fact, Xavier led a good chunk of that game. You're getting 16.5. St. John's is coming off that monster win against UConn on Friday night. So that could be a little bit of a hangover from that big victory. It could be sluggish out of the gate. If you don't trust Xavier for the full game, you could take Xavier first half as well. Just limit it to the first 20 minutes that maybe St. John's is a little bit, in the clouds following the big UConn win on Friday night. But I don't know. It feels like a lot of points here, and I thought Xavier was at least worth some kind of bet. What do you think here, C-Mac, Xavier, St. John's, in the battle of the Patinos, father versus son?
Yeah, you got to think Xavier shoots it better after just kind of get destroyed by 30. I always like that. Both, coming off the same team, which is a little bit different. Yep. We don't see except
well, that's another thing too.
Like
Xavier hasn't played since like early last week. It's a prep advantage too. Like they haven't. Played. St. John's played Friday, and Xavier played UConn. When was that game? It was last Tuesday, I think. Last Tuesday.
Yeah, and St. John's. I mean, just coming after the big win. I mean, that was huge spotlight game. Played well, offense played well, especially I thought in the second half down the stretch, and the defense to really get stops was big. Yeah, it's just a huge number. I kind of agree with Xavier. It's just can they just score enough here to hang around? Because it just seems like
they're going to need to score to hang around because their defense is terrible. Yeah,
we get an 88-75 type game.
Yeah,
like I don't, that's what I was kind of thinking in this one. And I don't know. Can they maybe hang first half just because they've been off for so long? Even though I don't want them in their road. What was their road record here?
The last 2 road games, they're 1-6 straight
1-6.
The last 2 at Seton Hall. And Seton Hall's not that great, and they still lost by 18. I get it. I mean, if they get away from them, it could get ugly. But I'm just saying, are you going to get St. John's A game coming after the UConn win? They already beat them. And Rick Pitino said this after they beat Xavier 88-83 by 5 points the first time a few weeks ago in his post-game interview. I heard him. He said, my son was ready. He knew what was coming. He knew what we were going to do, and he had his team ready to go. That's another thing you got to remember. Son, who knows Rick Pitino better than Richard, his own flesh and blood? That probably matters too, and why Xavier was able to hang so tough with them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Richard, his own son. I know there's 9.5. This is first half. I think they could stay within that, almost 10 we have here. So this game tips too in an hour, right? Yeah, I might have a small bet on them. Yeah. First half. Shout out to our new member. I don't know if you hit him up. Man, 6'5", 15.
Yes, Dimitri Mamo, 6515. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We appreciate all the members. And again, our members, for you guys, we've got you covered on Wednesdays and Fridays. Members only Hitting the Book shows twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So that's our way for all the members that have signed up to the channel. We'll also have posts. I'm going to start doing it a lot more too. The days we don't have shows, I'm going to start getting the card posts. I know finally Saturday I remember to post some college basketball up there for everybody. So again, make sure you check out the members posts as well. All right, NC State, Louisville, little ACC action here on ESPN. We've got Louisville 7.5-point favorites, 161.5 total in this game. I don't know what to make of Louisville because this is a Louisville team that obviously they started the season very well. It's a team that just got Markel Brown back, and I thought they were primed to take off and really hit their stride. Instead, they get blown out by Duke. They did win and cover against SMU at home, but the last 2 games, kind of lethargic. One win, but non-cover against Notre Dame. I thought they were very much, okay, but not great against Wake in their last game. Another non-cover. Even though the fact that they've got Conwell and Brown reunited their backcourt, and Frew certainly up front's someone you have to deal with as well. But I don't know. It's just been underwhelming, the returns, I guess you could say, for Louisville. I thought with everybody, back, the starting 5 fully intact, this team would start to take off, and just haven't seen strong 40 minutes of basketball from Pat Kelsey's team. Meanwhile, you've got NC State rolling along here in a great form. They've won 6 in a row going into this matchup against Louisville. They're coming off wins against SMU on the road, Virginia Tech at home. Big opportunity here with this showdown against Louisville. It is worth noting, first meeting this year. They met once last year, and Louisville at NC State was able to win that game 91-66. So big win there as far as Louisville is concerned. I kind of like the Wolfpack, the way they're playing, and I kind of like them a little bit, plus the points here. It's probably high scoring because NC State's offense has just been humming. 6 straight overs, large part of that because they've been scoring 80s and 90s in these games. So I kind of like the Pack, and I kind of like the over here in this ACC matchup. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know Wolfpack playing well on the road. They're a team. I talked about Louisville shoots a ton of threes, and decent percentage of 35%. NC State maybe doesn't shoot as much. They do shoot a lot. Their percentage just kept going up too, especially lately with all these points they've been scoring, and even their play on the road. They're just scoring 88, 84, 96. 82 that game they just had against Virginia Tech. So you got to think this game has plenty of pace, right? Plenty of shots. I think this could get over. I know we have a large total here, but I think we could get up and over this. Yeah, I kind of like NC State. What do you make them if you've been taking them? They've been really good on the road. Can they do it here? It's just this, a little bit of a spotlight game we talk about on these Mondays. Because everything on paper, I say they're the play here.
Yep.
I don't really want to fade Louisville, but should they be laying this number here at home? Is it valid, do you think, this Louisville team?
If Markel Brown, goes off and they bring it defensively, but again, we haven't seen any of those things lately for Louisville. Their defense hasn't been, shutting teams down. Brown hasn't been, it's like he's needed a few games to kind of get ramped up to speed here, since he's been back for this Cardinals team. And with the way NC State is just, the way they're distributing the basketball, they've had 4 or 5 double-digit scores in most of their recent wins. Like, they're sharing the ball, they're shooting good from 3. Will Wade, has done a really nice job here as far as went through a little bump in the road, a little rough patch. Now they've kind of pulled it together. I think it's a close game. I just do. And I like this over. I agree. And Gerald Jones in our chat, who, pretty smart, sharp guy as well. He likes the over as well. So, yeah, no argument with that. I think it probably gets past that 161.5. All right, next up, we've got Oregon, Indiana, a little Big Ten matchup here. 10.5-point home favorites, Indiana. 143.5 this total. This total has gone up, and I agree. Too light. I thought at 142.5, which is when I bet it was too low. It's gone up a little since then, and the reason for that is Nate Biddle being back for Oregon. Like, that guy is good for 20 plus 25 points most games, 20, 25 points. He is absolutely going to help this Oregon team offensively, and we already saw signs of it over the weekend when they played Purdue, and they actually gave Purdue a pretty tough game, all things considered. But Nate Biddle's not a great defensive player. That's the one concern. And, coming back from injury, I saw times where Purdue was kind of beating him, especially back down the court. And so that becomes the concern. He's a plus for Oregon offensively. I'm not so sure that's the case defensively, though, with his return. So that's part of the reason. And Indiana at home, this is a team that's averaged 83 points per game at Assembly Hall. This is a team that has shot well above 40, closer to 50% from the field at home, coming off a game where they shot okay, but not great, in the narrow loss against Wisconsin, or the win, I should say, against Wisconsin. They did hang on. It was Wisconsin that fell short there on Saturday. Yeah. I would expect Indiana to shoot the ball pretty well. Oregon's defense has obviously had their share of issues as well. So modest total, and I think because of that, a lot of it's because of the fact that both Oregon and Indiana have kind of been under trending teams for the large part of the last several games. But now I think we're at a point where, a lot of those totals, especially for Oregon, Indiana, we've seen 150s, high 140s. But now that this is down to 142.5, or it was earlier in the day, I thought it has just gotten too low. And so I think there's some value now over with this Oregon-Indiana game tonight. As far as a side goes, I kind of lean Oregon here. I do. It's just, I think Biddle back, they did give Purdue a pretty tough game. It's always tough, that second.
Yeah, can they do that again?
3 days.
Yeah.
They're on the road for a second game in 3. That's not easy, those spots, but I'd be leaning slightly to Oregon, but I'd be the over to me. The over is the much better bet, in my opinion, than taking Oregon here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to stay off this game, especially the total. You talked about Simpkins and Biddle are back, and they need them. Can they? That's the biggest thing, is the back-to-back road game. Can they cover again here? Another tight game, and are they kind of leaving them? Why we get this big number and even more is just because how bad they've been and all the injuries. Are you getting a steal here with this? Like Oregon, if you've been backing, they just haven't got it done for you. And when you can't score, that'll be the issue. So I think they could hang around again in this game. I thought those guys made a difference. What Biddle have 23, Simpkins have 14. These are the guys they need. And Biddle is 1 of 8 from 3, too. They even shoot at 5 for 25 as a team. So if they can get hit some threes, which they're not really known for, this Oregon team, great shooting, I think they could definitely be in it. So I lean Oregon here. I take the points or nothing on the side.
All right, our last game of the first segment of the show, starting 4 today, not 5, but Arizona, Kansas. This is a great game, obviously. Two top 10 teams, and you got undefeated Arizona and a team in Kansas that probably feels we're getting Arizona at the perfect time because Kansas can't possibly be playing any better than they have the last 7 games. Like they had a little bit of a slump there early in January. Remember, they went to UCF and they lost as a favorite. They barely got past TCU at home, and they needed overtime to do that, and they trailed most of that game, so that wasn't that impressive. Then they lost at West Virginia by 11 points. But since then, 7-0 straight up, 6-1 against the spread. The only non-cover was Saturday against Utah, probably just because they were laying a few too many points. 18.5-point favorites. They won by 12 against Utah. I actually took a small shot with Utah there just because, I figured it was a lot of points. And I know Kansas playing great, but this big showdown at home against Arizona on deck, felt it was a decent spot to go against Kansas. Now we'll see how they fare here. Look, playing some really excellent basketball right now. There's no question about that. They're defending better than they have at they've held teams consistently to 60s pretty much as far as points of late. They're playing absolutely outstanding basketball, no question about that. The defense is allowing 67.3 points per game. They're 11-1 so far at home. I think UConn's the only team to beat them here at Fog Allen this year. Darren Peterson, what more can we say? And he's been dealing with cramping issues too, and he's still putting up over 20 points per game for this team, no doubt. Of course, Kansas, an interesting thing here will be the supporting cast as well. While he's great, you need those other guys to produce. You also need to worry about the big guy down low too. I like how when he has a slam dunk for this Kansas team, Flory Badunga, they call it the Badunga dunk. It's pretty funny to say that. The Badunga dunk for Kansas, but they need him to be big. Give them extra possessions because Arizona does have some size in the low post. It's a great matchup. Kansas is rolling. Kansas, if you're going to play Arizona, now you want them because Kansas has got utmost confidence with the way they have played. They're getting a slight, 1.5, 2 points as home underdogs. Certainly you can make the case. Good value. Rarely do you get Kansas as a home dog, but I will repeat once again, what I've said about Kansas here is that, they're home dogs, but they're home dogs here probably for a good reason. And I remember that UConn game. That was the previous time they were home underdogs. Well, they didn't cover, and they lost that game by 5. So keep that in mind. Now that you could also turn around and say, well, they were 3.5-point home dogs against Iowa State, and they won that game in blowout fashion by 21. But the point is, it's not automatic that just because Kansas is a home dog that they're going to win and cover. I can't do it, CMAC, as far as bet against Arizona. This team has been able to go home, go on the road, and beat good competition, both home and on the road, all season long, and they have found ways to get the job done. I don't feel like betting against that kind of profile. Could Kansas win this game tonight? Sure they can. But I have seen more than enough from this great undefeated Arizona team that win it at home, win on the road, be able to beat any good team anywhere throughout the course of the season. That I just have zero interest betting against them. Doesn't mean Kansas can't win this game. But like I said, I just have no interest going against them. Jaden Bradley's been amazing. Burries has been great. They're getting obviously nice contributions from Karchenkov as well. This Wildcats team is very well-rounded. I just don't want to go against them. They have passed every test for me, CMAC, and to me, there's no reason to go up and fade them at this point. It's a great game to watch, though. Slight lean. Maybe this could creep over the total. Arizona's been an under machine lately because the totals have just been too high, right? Every Arizona total, it seems to be in the 160s.
They got a good defense.
And they have a very good defense. Yeah, Kansas does too. My only question now is that after we've seen a bunch of totals, even with Kansas, they were in the high 50s a few weeks ago, and every recent Arizona total has been pretty much high 150s or 160s. Have now they adjusted it to a point at 153 now where it could maybe get over the total. I kind of think the pendulum has swung to value on the over now with this total being where it's. I'm not saying I love the over in this game, but think from a value standpoint, maybe it's shifted that way. C-Mac, what do you think here? It's the game of the night, Kansas, Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to split this. First, I think I'm just going to go full game. Let's hit up the chat, though. You talked about Dimitri coming a member. We appreciate you, my guy. And you'll be able to join us on Wednesdays and Fridays. We'll twice a week. We want to give it to especially all the members of the channel. Definitely a couple shows a week. We appreciate you guys making this work. Tony the Tiger Hunter, my dude, as always. Appreciate the donos. When you can, my guy, I'll see you Saturday too. We had another good Saturday. Shout out to everyone that turned out Saturday mornings.
Connor Mack does a show Saturday mornings with Mike M from
a little dual stream just for the next 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's the name of his. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Saturdays, join us. What do you think? Let's answer this real quick. What do you think about Kentucky winning an SEC title? You agree with this prediction?
No, I don't think they are. No, they stole one. Tennessee can go fuck themselves. By the way, I'm disgusted by that.
Tell them how you feel.
Blowing it again against Kentucky. Rick Barnes, go retire, man. Seriously, like that. Really? You're going to blow a game by double digits. You're going to lead by double digits twice to Kentucky and blow it. That was one of my bigger bets Saturday, as you can tell. That's why I'm so angry. Tennessee, that game. It's pissed me off so much. How do you let that shit happen again? Didn't you learn from the first meeting at home when you blew it and coughed it up against Kentucky? Tennessee's going to do squadouche again in the tournament. Nothing. How do you have any faith in them doing anything?
Sometimes when I hear Rick Barnes, we always talk about fading him during the tournament. But sometimes in his press conference, he's just like, is this guy? He's not a bad basketball coach, but the way he just gives, he's just so man, our guys just can't get it done.
You let that happen.
He's driving me crazy.
And I love this spot. And I said Kentucky is beatable, especially at home. And they did again, just like the first meeting, double-digit lead. And here they go again. The ball stops moving. You get the ISO ball, and then the defense starts to collapse again. And so here we go again. The good news is I bet Kentucky live because I sensed this coming. It was a 16-point lead. Once Kentucky got it down to inside single digits, I'm like, they're going to blow this again. It's starting to feel like it. And so thankfully I bet a little live Kentucky money line to abort out of it a little bit. But still, was not happy. Terrible loss for Tennessee.
Yeah, Barnes buzz. I saw him a couple weeks ago. He's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't say this, but maybe our guys are gambling. I mean, they're passing the ball just to nobody. I'm like,
maybe they are.
I know that, but the way he said it,
you never know these days. Seriously, you never know.
Well, I know that's true. Yeah, we talk about it. Even with them, depending on the school or program, getting money, it still goes around.
Yeah.
There, Nick Avento, my guy, as always. Remember Chucktown, appreciate it. My dude. All right, I'll be the guy. I stayed off BYU. I didn't want them because I don't think they're a good team. We talked about it again and again and again. Their defense is good. Give me Kansas
I agree
here.
With you there. Kansas is a more tougher foe right now than BYU. So that gives a chance tonight. Yeah,
I'll take him here. I don't know if I want to split this. I think I'm just going to go full game because I think Kansas does have a good first half. Arizona's just been that good first half.
Yeah,
too. So I'll just stick to full game. This reminds me a little bit, not playing as good at basketball too. Kansas, just at home, they're a different team. We've seen this for years and years. We do this every year. They're at home. Iowa State, what were they? Plus 3.5. They won 84-63. I'm not saying we're going to get a 20-point blowout win here against the almighty Wildcats of Arizona, but I want Kansas here. Peterson, I think, even though this is the game, who had it, Nick, in the chat, I think this is the game that you might want to take it, that he gets, over his points. I think he hasn't hit it in 3 or 4 straight. He talked about his cramping.
Yeah, but he knows.
I think he said 17, 15.
You got to do what Seth Trimble did for North Carolina. That guy just said, you know what, give me the ball. I'm not going to be denied. Same with that other guy, that Wilson, for North Carolina in that game. They just said, give me the ball. We're not going to be denied here. Darren Peters is going to have to be that aggressive tonight if they're going to beat Arizona. Totally agree.
For sure. Council, big as well. And same thing with White. I think that's been a big difference. He's been playing well for Kansas. He consistently gets 15 to 17 like he's been getting. And the boards, I think, they'll be on a nice run. So I'll take him tonight. Kansas plus 2.5.
No doubt. By the way, that Duke North Carolina game, speaking of, it was a great basketball game. Great. It's great when, that game and that rivalry, it always gets hyped and they promote the hell out of it, ESPN, but sometimes the game turns out to be disappointing and a dud. Not Saturday. That was outstanding. By the way, how great on the microphone is Dan Schulman, man. That call of the friggin'
Oh, yeah, he's always good.
Phenomenal. Yeah, we're so
Consistent.
lucky, with the Blue Jay games here in Canada to always get him doing the baseball all season long. But yeah, he's excellent. But great game that was. And North Carolina, like I said,
he gave a great call at Game 7.
Yeah.
They let the crowd just silence. I thought he's a pro that way.
And that's the same thing with Trimble. He said Trimble, Carolina wins it with a great, powerful call, and then just let the crowd make the noise and just step back and the atmosphere take hold. Yeah, that's a great play-by-play guy that does that. Actually, even your guy out in L.A., Joe Davis, is very good with that. Yeah,
I think he's pretty good. He catches a lot of flack, but he's the guy now for Fox, which makes it, he's the Dodger, so it makes it seem a little weird. People rip on him, but it is what it is. Yeah, but I think he's a lot of people are, but once you listen to Vince Scully, there's just nobody really, I think, adds up in that regard.
Good stuff. All right, just some rapid fire. I'm not going to even give you anything with the added board, MEAC, SWAC. I didn't bet much. I don't have much there. So just as far as the main board, some other games I'm looking at here. I'm on this Drake over train again. I mean, 9-1 to the over for Drake in their last 10 games. They're playing Valpo tonight. This has been a transformation in Drake. They're playing faster. They're offensively gotten a lot better. The defense is terrible, though. I mean, my goodness, Drake has been just giving up points in bunches galore of late. Didn't we just see Illinois State just shred them pretty good on Friday night? I thought that was an over that was very easy. I was on it there, too. I just think that total's light. These are teams that aren't the fastest-paced teams, but Valpo can make shots. Drake's been efficient. Drake's been just falling off defensively. So to give me a 143.5, which is what I got on it, even at 144.5 right now, I like it. I think it's too cheap. Nine of the last 10 Drake games have gone over the total. So I like that. I like that we have some Missouri Valley games on a Monday night, just like they did Friday. They're putting some Missouri Valley games on a Monday night. Give it a little exposure. Give it a little extra attention, which is nice to see. Maybe I'm walking into a trap again here because Belmont is at the point now where you either bet on them or you pass. Like, you people thought, hey, maybe UIC Friday night against Belmont at home. No, Belmont's just too good right now. This may be the best defense they've had, too, under Casey Alexander, and they could just shoot the lights out. They didn't even have a great shooting game Friday night against Illinois Chicago. Still, they led the game. They controlled the flow most of the way. So, like I said, they just are really, really solid and sound at both ends of the floor. And I agree with Elmore. When I watch Bradley, I don't see a great Bradley team like I've seen in years past when they've won this conference. I don't see that from this Bradley team. Belmont's owned the series as well. Belmont's dominated Bradley the last couple of years. So I don't know. Maybe I'm walking into a trap here. I know there's been some Bradley money, but you're going to now just ask Belmont to win the game with the way they're playing. It feels like I could only look at the Belmont side there in that one. And last but not least, I know it was brought up by someone in the chat earlier, Northern Iowa, Missouri State, CBS Sports Network, national TV, later game, late start for Murray State, 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific. I like Murray State here. They lost to Northern Iowa when they were struggling on that road trip. They lost at Cedar Falls to this Northern Iowa team, so it's a revenge spot for Murray State. I think Murray State's starting to get their shit together again. They won and covered against a good Illinois Chicago team at home last week. Then they went on the road and they took care of Southern Illinois on Friday night in that game. And I think when you look at this matchup, they're starting to get their shooting going again. And we know they were a great offensive team, and now they're starting to make shots again. And I don't think that Northern Iowa, on the road especially this time around, is going to be able to have quite the offensive success they had in that first meeting. Like, Northern Iowa put up 81 points when they beat Murray State, 81-76 back in January. Northern Iowa shot 57% from the field. Bet the under that they're going to hit 57% this time around. I think you're going to see some adjustments here from the Racers on the defensive end of the basketball court. And like I said, now we're starting to see them, after a couple of rough shooting games, start to bounce back as well. So Murray State there, it's down to 3.5. I think it's 3.5 last I checked. Yeah, I mean, you can lay 3.5 here with Murray State. I like them at home. Cheap price, bounce back, revenge spot too. When Northern Iowa beat them at home earlier this year. So I like the Racers there, Murray State, -3.5. Lean to the over there a little bit too at 142.5. That's about it for me. C-Mac, what else are you liking here for Monday?
Yeah, I'm going to stay off. I think that game, could be good. In the end, I had to just stay off. What happens? Murray State does what they want. This goes over. They do what they want and get their points, even their team total.
Oh yeah, this is definitely, if you like Murray, the over. If you like Northern Iowa, they're going to try to control the flow.
They're going to control it. Yeah,
half-court game under. Yeah,
for sure. Drew, yeah, we both like Xavier. He's asking you, Ian, you like it? Which I think you do.
We do. I mean, Xavier. I like the situation. Now, Xavier's bad enough that they could lose by 20. Obviously, they could. But Patino knows Patino. Son knows Dad inside and out. And it showed in the first meeting. St. John's was life or death to beat Xavier in the first meeting. Only won by 5. And now you got St. John's off the mammoth win against UConn. Maybe a little hangover, a little flat, especially early. So that's what I'm open for. And Xavier, we're not asking Xavier to even be right in the game. We're just asking them stay inside 16.5. Lose by 14 and I'll be happy. I think they can. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll have a piece of this +9.5 too. First half.
First half.
We were talking about just to answer Drew's question. Yeah, so the Murray State. In the end, I just stayed off. We do have a couple small games. Here's one I haven't got to, but I like. It's dropped a little bit. This is a dictate of who dictates the pace. I just think at home they will. It's New Orleans, the over here, 147. Now, like it's come down a couple points. Texas A&M, they could really slow this game down.
Right.
Corpus Christi. But it seems like when they get in, New Orleans at home will get up and down. They'll dictate it. I think this could get over. I've been kind of looking at this the last couple hours. I think this is one of the overs that I really, really like today that's come down. I think it could get there. You want a team that's been on the road here, an ugly one, and they've been just going on the road and getting their ass kicked. Savannah. 5 straight road games. They're back here at home. They're not very good. They just got drilled by this team by 20. But I think they could keep it close. Not my favorite here, but North Alabama, just get ass kicked. Just saw Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas traditionally goes to Northern Alabama and just plays a tough game or loses outright. And even though they're a better basketball team, I don't think they should be laying this number at all. So look for Northern Alabama here, North Alabama, +7.5. I think they can definitely cover that game today, even win it outright there. Here's an under that I'm on. 2 teams that I want to take these under, Northwestern State, Lamar. I just think we get back to the Lamar at home. This price, it's 137. I know this is kind of one where I was hoping for a 140. But Northwestern State cannot shoot. Lamar just wants to drag this into the 60s. Northwestern State too. I worry about after scoring 48 points, they could shoot better. But this team consistently goes on the road or even at home, 58, 62.
Yeah.
So not only their team total, but I just went full game here. Northwestern State, Lamar under 137. I think we get a dead nuts under there in a game that's just going to be in the 60s, low 60s there. I think that's about it. I mean, Valpo, did you talk about Valpo? I didn't bet it.
I like the over I mentioned in that game.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, it's just Drake with the great run of overs. Was it 9-1 in their last 10 to the over? I just think it's definitely worthy of a wager there. What about your beloved Southern Illinois Salukis in Indiana State? I know you had an easy under with them recently. That total's gone way up, though, Southern Illinois, Indiana State to 147 right now. That's pretty high for Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois does not play with tempo.
No, Indiana State does it. I worry with them at home. It gets a little sloppy. You know what I mean? The defense is very good. Southern Illinois can maybe score some points, but I thought it was a little high too. It's just different. Them on the road in this spot. Indiana State too. They're not horrible. Their games just seem to go in the mid 70s though. Even when I've been on them, or get to OT, because they're not a team that, a great shooting team either.
Right.
They're just not great defensively, is Indiana State. So I know I was a little surprised by that. I jotted that down. I thought it was a little bit high, that total. I'd be on the under. Under nothing in that game.
No doubt.
Sure.
All right, great stuff. We appreciate everybody. Elmore 67, Golfing Stars fan, 720. You and I both, brother. I miss hockey already. No doubt. I can't wait for NHL to be back in a couple weeks. No doubt. Drew.
He'll be back.
Gerald Jones, Jose Perez, Jorge Herrera, Nick Alvento, Matt the Bat, Mark Navarez. Appreciate all. Nick Getchell. Appreciate all of you. Gold Jew, Steven Jackson, Calamio 12, Tony the Tiger Hunter, Chuck Town 111. Appreciate everyone here in the chat. Become a member, and if you become a member, you'll have our members-only shows you'll have access to on Wednesdays and Fridays right here at this time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. All right, C-Mac, let's wrap it up. It's best bet time. What do you got for Monday?
Yeah, best bet. I'm on it. Kansas plus 2.5. Nobody wants them. Oh, I want them here. Big bad Arizona. They go down tonight. I'll take the 2.5 points here. Minus 105, Kansas. Best bet. Plus 2.5. All right.
Best bet for me. I think you kind of could sense that I like this play quite a bit. I do. A little Missouri Valley total action here. Give me Valpo and Drake over 144. Valpo, Drake over 144. 9-1 run to the over for the Drake Bulldogs here in conference play. And most of these 9 overs, by the way, have gotten to more than 144 total points. I think we see more of the same here tonight. So Valparaiso, Drake over 144. My best bet here for this Monday in college.
Real quick, shout out, hit the like button on the way out. Shout out to all the members in the green. Become a member. College basketball is here. Run to the next 4 or 5 weeks, especially they talked about until we get hockey back.
Yeah.
College basketball fest, and of course the NBA. Got to give it a little bit of love. The NBA.
From starting Friday, college basketball is all you're going to get.
I know. We're going to
Friday till next Thursday, because that's NBA All-Star break. So it truly will be college basketball and only college basketball pretty much during that span, other than some Olympic hockey, which I will be involved in, of course.
Yeah, I will too a little bit. Yeah. Of course, I have to be. My Twitter is hacked. If you see a message from me, don't answer it. Yes. If you need to get a hold of me, hit my email.
Connor
MacPicks, Gmail. Just get a hold of me that way. It's the easiest, simplest way. There's other places you can look me up, but just that. You need to get a hold of me, ask me a question, any of that stuff. Yeah, don't answer any of the stuff. I've been hacked.
Yeah.
We'll see if I doubt I get it back. If not, I'll just be making a new one.
Yeah.
From scratch.
Welcome to my world 2 years ago, having to make a new one. But might be what has to happen, unfortunately, for C-Mac. But make sure you email them to get in contact with them right now. By the way, I know we do have some crossover viewers and listeners. I know some of you do watch the Ice Guys show with me and Alex. We will have pre-recorded Olympic hockey preview shows every game. Starting tomorrow, we're going to record one tomorrow. It'll be posted first to Patreon members, exclusively for them at patreon.com/iceguys. It'll be posted the night before the games, and then we'll post it early in the morning, the day of the games, on the YouTube channel for everybody. So if you're a Patreon member, you have exclusive access for the first several hours to the Olympic hockey shows that Alex and I will do. So definitely looking forward to that starting tomorrow. All right, that's a wrap for Connor Mack. I'm Ian Cameron. Hit the like button on the way out. Enjoy the games and good luck on this Monday night. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another college basketball Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.